Hello, everybody. My name is Sam Johansson, and welcome to Reality Check, where I will go through each episode talking about all the different things that happen through all reality TV. So today we're going to go through the first episode of Survivor Season 49. So let's get into it. So this is how the show's going to work. How the show works is that we're going to break down what happens through. I'll give a recap of how everything went, highlight some points of the show that I want to go over, and talk about certain players. And something that I've done that I think is kind of fun is that we're giving a scoring. We're giving a score to each player for how they perform through each episode. So let's get into it. Survivor has always been very fun to me. I get excited every single season when a new one comes out. And I feel like I've been watching since I was in high school. I'm not one of those seasoned vets of watching the show, watching it ever since it came out. I'm excited to be starting the show and just talk about this. I really enjoyed this season. This season has been is starting off really well. I like everybody in the cast. I knock on wood that this is going to be the season where more people, like, where the tribes are pretty even. It's not just going to be one tribe that loses every single immunity, and so I don't know. I feel like looking at everybody, they're pretty evenly stacked, and there's a lot of fun. I don't want to call them characters because they're just people. I think there's fun people. But yeah, let's just get into it. So to start off, we get there to the marooning challenge. We meet a lot of people, and immediately people that stick out, just from the actual marooning with Jeff talking about everybody, talking to everybody and getting to know them. Some people that stick out would be Jason. Jason seems really cool. Having that gamer nerdy approach with everything. I think he's going to be a very interesting character going into this season. And then is it Sophie? Sophie's the social worker. She's a goof. She's a major goof. Saying that when she's excited or nervous, she needs to pee a lot. Yeah, just meeting everybody. It seems like this is going to be a great group of people. Immediately you get from Jake that you're gonna have to already start feeling for him because his father got glaucoma. I think that's how you pronounce it. But having that be his last, like, this is going to be his father's last season where he can visually see it. It's kind of tough to see. And then later on, learning that his wife is pregnant, and going to have the baby while he's out here. I was watching it with my parents and my fiance, and immediately, from both my mom and my fiance, was like, I would never let my husband go out if I was pregnant, and if he doesn't win, it's going to be so terrible. Moving on to the actual challenge itself, I feel like Hina just destroyed in that challenge. Even though Jake had a great, huge, like, lead carrying a box by himself, I don't think it was really. I think it was all for naught because Annie unfortunately couldn't move at the same pace as Jake, and it created a big setback because the other two tribes were able to go at the same pace and be able to get boxes out quick. So Hina wins, and then so they have to figure out who goes on, I'm going to call it the second chance for supplies or the journey. Um, and so Rizzo and Alex, they go for it. And I think they both were like, we'll go if nobody else will go. I think a part that really sticks out to me um, is this challenge specifically because you have the true underdog story. You got the Riz God doing his thing, him saying, "Oh, if it's a puzzle, I'm totally cooked," and if he didn't have the ability to go over and look at Alex's like puzzle, it would have been insanely hard for him to even get close to the like completing the challenge. And I wonder if he would have even been able to figure out that he was missing an extra piece. While Rizzo was having a hard time with the actual puzzle itself, Alex was having a huge issue trying to find that ship's wheel, and and I don't know, it kind of sucks when you choke at the end of it and the underdog wins. I kind of went into it being like, oh yeah, Rizzo is going to be left in the dust. Alex is going to go in, and he's just going to destroy. So it was really fun to see the victory that Rizzo had. I think this is a great start for his journey in this game, and I believe that he's gonna compete and be um, he's gonna be one of those great storytellers throughout the series. Um, and I hope he stays a while and even like win the game. Something that was very interesting about Rizzo's like win that I hope to see like move forward is that everybody kind of like specifically like Nate, he notices like Rizzo being not so sure of himself, but he has a lot of potential. He made the comment of like, oh yeah, I think Rizzo is someone who doesn't recognize how good he actually is, and I don't know if that's a way of saying that he's a threat or he's someone that they want to work with. Talking about alliances in that tribe, in the Uli tribe, I think Savannah has a huge. Um, I think she has a great start in like building relationships because it seems like she wants to work with everybody and is already building good relationships with everybody. Um, other than probably like Sage. I don't know. I think everybody seems like they have a good vibe working with each other except for Sage. I haven't. She only spoke once this entire episode, so it's kind of hard to see where she's at, especially like when we focus on other tribes like Kelly, the Kelly tribe. I think Savannah and Shannon. I don't really know if Shannon really wants to work with Savannah. I haven't gotten that read yet. I think Nate wants to work with Savannah, and Savannah's open with working with Nate. And then Jawan, he's doing a casting call, and I think it's kind of funny. Seeing who he wants to work with. Let's look over at like the Blue Tribe. Um, some stuff that I noticed. Alex is gonna. I think Alex is gonna potentially turn into one of those people. I think he's gonna turn into like the Sam from 2 seasons ago in 47, where he is basically locked in with someone at the beginning, and and then his alliance partner, like that was Sierra, was taken out, and then he has to like basically fight. And he seemed as his threat because he has a really good bond with another player, being that power couple. And I think immediately Jake has kind of pulled Alex in and forced a power couple. And I don't know. I think that might hurt Alex's game. But good thing for Jake is that he's pulled in Sophie because Sophie also wants to work with Jake because he's a big beefy dude. He's the biggest guy that I've ever seen, and they kind of solidified the bond between the three of them with Jake telling him that he wants to work with them because he wants to make sure he gets to the end so he can provide for his soon-to-be son. I believe it's going to be a son. It's going to be a boy. I think Sophie is doing a great. I think Sophie is also going to be someone who's going to have major control in this game because because she has made a huge bond with Jake, and Jake can bring in Alex. But she's also made a um, pretty big bond with Jeremiah, and I think Jeremiah and Sophie are going to be a tight two that nobody can really see coming. Even though Jake went up to like Jeremiah and was like, "Hey, do you want to work together?" Um, nobody's going to suspect us to work together, which I don't think it matters until like the merge, and everybody will be like, "Oh, they're Kelly strong. They're going to work together." I think, yeah, just to go through like Sophie's really good, um, I call it her rise to power, is that she wants to align with everybody. It shows it in there, like being like, "Oh, I really want to work with you. Oh, I really want to work with you. Like, I really want to work with Nicole. Just immediately when I saw you, you were my number one." And then she kind of did the same thing with Annie, and then she kind of did the same thing with just everybody. But then it really highlights that she really wanted to work with Jake. And then she notices that Jake and Alex are getting really close, and that may bump her out of spot number 1 and 2 or she won't be Jake's number 2. Um, and so she has to make a pivot and make her have her number 1 be Jeremiah, and so they are now a tightly knit couple, a power couple. So that makes me kind of excited to see where that goes. Some highlights being the infamous shoe bandit. I really want to know how this is going to go, because if things go a certain way, like if this goes how Jake wants it to add a little chaos into the game, I think it's a very silly move, but a very dangerous one that can backfire big time on him. Like, if somebody finds out that he took people's left shoes and just hid them, people would be like, "Oh, what the heck? Why would you do that? That's not really the vibe tribe that we're going for right now." But when he originally did that to Nicole's shoe, I thought, "Oh, is he trying to do this to see who would be good at like finding certain objects, like finding an immunity idol?" But then come to find out, it was like a few feet away. It's like, oh, he's just doing it to mess with people. If I've learned anything from previous seasons of Survivor, like your Russell Hanses, it usually ends up backfiring on them. Let's move on with the rest of the episode. You get to the challenge. Hina wins again, getting, like, I think it's a very clear, quick win from them. And then Uli takes second, and it's left to Kelly. And it was pinned on 2 people for like who they want to send home, and that would be Nicole or Annie. Annie, she seemed to go away from everybody, do her own thing, which was already like a turn off for Sophie. And then Annie was already making like, "Oh, we need to take out the 2 big boys. Like, we should probably take out Nicole this round, but then we should go for the boys." And then Sophie immediately brings it up to the boys that that Annie's going for them. So I was very surprised that with that choice of picking Nicole, who seemed a little bit more trustworthy, over Annie. I think Nicole is one of those people that I would like to see play again. I feel like every single person who is the first boot, for the most part, You don't see enough of their game, except for maybe like Chicken from Survivor China. Yeah, I think he lived his course. It's kind of sad. I was kind of pumped to see how she works, looking at like her interviews. She was a huge like super fan. I think what's next for like I don't know. Let's see what's next. Like we can only guess what's next for the Kelly tribe. Something that we're already anticipating going to the next episode is that Annie is gonna cause some problems. I think she's gonna be one of those people because she saw a vote on her. She's gonna be offended and she's gonna be like, "Oh, I don't want to work with anybody anymore. Nobody wants to work with me. I can't believe you guys would throw my name out there." Because I think there's someone like that every season, like Sue from 46. Let's just break down everything that. Let's just break out like the scoring. So we're gonna call the segment the reality check. So this is the name of the show, but this specific part is gonna be where we check how everybody performs. So there's gonna be. Let's just throw everything up right here. But the scoring will go like this. If you win a challenge, like you can gain points by doing certain objectives, like you'll win when you win a challenge, you get 10 points. If you win a reward challenge, if you win an immunity challenge, you get 10 points. Win a reward challenge, you get 5. If you go on a journey, you get 3 points. If you gain an advantage / idle, you get 8 points. Use an idle, 5 points. And then by how many points you use, like by how many votes you blocked with an idle, you get 3 points. And then if you use an advantage, that's 3 points. And then if you vote, you get points. You get an additional. You get 2 points for voting, and then you get an additional 2 points for voting in the majority. And then you can lose points. And you'll lose points by receiving votes, getting voted off, or losing your ability to vote. We'll just go through the top 3 like people who scored points this week. So your top scoring person was Rizzo because he spoke 9 times. He was part of the tribe that won the challenge. I'm counting this second chance. We're counting the second chance reward for getting the second chance marooning challenge. We're counting that as our journey. So he'll get some points there. And he won that challenge. And so I'll say that he won the reward challenge on that journey. So he got some points there. And he didn't have any points deducted against him. So he got 22.5 votes, or 22.5 points. Then your next highest person was, I believe, was Steven from the Hyena tribe, which we didn't even talk about. He won both the reward and immunity, which I gave him a ton of points. And then he spoke 5 times, which gave him another 2.5 points there. And so that put him at 17.5. And then everybody else on the Hyena tribe, they gained 16 points or 15.5 points because of how they performed in the challenges and whatnot. There's only one player this week that got into the negatives, and that was Nicole, unfortunately, because she got negative 11 points, so it was quite the detrimental detriment to her points, because she got 11 points this week, or negative 11 points this week, because She only spoke 4 times, so she only got 2 points there. And then she got votes put on her. And I have it put down that she loses 2 points per vote that's put on her. And so she received 5 votes, and so that puts her at -10 already there. And then she was voted off, which gave her another -5 points. So she got -15 points for getting voted off in the first tribal. But the only points she gained was voting she was able to vote, so she got 2 points. And then she spoke 4 times, which gave her 2 more points. But yeah. I'll post on our Instagram the score of everybody else's points to kind of build a ranking. And I think we're gonna keep track of how many points everybody has overall throughout the season, but we're also gonna do it week by week. Things I'm excited for this upcoming episode this week. I'm excited to see more Rizzo. I'm excited to see what more he can bring to the table. I think Sophie and Jeremiah, seeing what kind of stuff they can do. I want to see more of Hina. I feel like I didn't see a lot of them because they just were too busy winning. It's really hard being at the top, I guess. You don't get a lot of screen time other than Steven. Steven got the most screen time out of everybody. I will see you guys in this next episode. I posted this episode late. I was out of town for the weekend, and so I had to pull something quick, and hopefully this turns out good. Thanks for listening today. Please help support the podcast by following us on Instagram at Reality.Check.Pod. Rate, review, and subscribe wherever you can. Put in the comments. Tell me who you think is going to win it all right now. Like, just by looking at everybody, who's your person that you think is going to win? And we will see you in the next episode. See ya.